Okay, this is a follow-on from the lesson we did on creating tables, linking tables, validation types, and picking the correct data types and fields. I've got the Access database open now. The first thing I'm going to do is click View, and that will immediately ask me to give it a table name. The first thing we're going to do is work on the sector table. So the naming convention that we always use is TBL for a table, RPT for a report, etc. But today we're only looking at tables. So this is the sector table, so we'll call it table underscore sector. We don't want spaces, so we'll put an underscore in. Okay, the first field we'll want is an auto number. And then we just need sector underscore type. And for now we'll save this table. And we'll close that one down. And we'll create another table. Again, I'll click change the view, and we're going to call this one table business type. So again, TBL underscore business underscore type, and we can start. We'll have an auto number again. This time we got business underscore type, and we've got sector underscore type. And we'll save those, and we'll create another table. Exactly the same procedure again, changing the view, give it a name, and now we're making the customer table. So TBL underscore customer, and now we'll have an ID and auto number again. So we got business underscore name, business underscore type, staff underscore contact underscore name, job title, job underscore title, business address, postcode, and telephone number. I'm not worrying too much at this time about the actual data types. We'll come to that in the next stage. At the moment, I'm just concentrating on creating the tables. So we'll save that, close it down, create another table. The next one we're going to do is the employee table. So again, I'll change the view. Then it'll be table underscore employee. Okay, that. And this time we've got surname, first underscore name, address, postcode, tel number, and contract type. You'll notice I haven't created any spaces at all. I've just kept it all tidy clear. Okay, we'll save that, and we're on to the final table, which will be the contact records when somebody contacts us. So it'll be table underscore contact records, contact underscore records. And this one we've got sales underscore call date. Now this is where we perhaps one example straight away where we know that for the date we're going to want to use date and time. So that's straightforward, easy one for us to see straight off the bat. Customer, call type, package, employee link, and date of next call, date of next call, and again that's a date box, so we can start with one of our data types straight away. Okay, so we've now made 5 tables, so very similar to the assignment you're going to be having to do. The criteria isn't exactly the same, but these tables are a little bit messy and they don't do everything we need, but they're a good start for us. So we've got our tables. So the first thing, but they're not linked. They don't do anything at the moment, and that's where we start to create those links. So if you look at the sector, we'll just put some dummy data in. So we've got public sector, private sector. We'll have what else? We'll have a PLC, and we'll have a limited. That's all we need for this example. So we've created that, and obviously the owners of this database could come at any time and change the sector type. So we'll save that, we'll close that one out, and we'll look at the business type table. Business type, we'll pick education, and then immediately we've got sector type. And this is where databases can help us, and where relationships can help us. Is we've got the sector type, and if you remember, we've just done the sector table. So if we are to enter data again here, we'd be creating duplication. So we want to avoid entering data a number of times, and we should be doing is querying our sector type table. And so what we need to do here is go back to the view, and sector type, we need to click the box. We'll change it from text to a lookup wizard. In the lookup wizard, we know that we're looking for table sector, so we'll pick that one. Next, we'll take all the data across. Next, then it'll ask us what field we want. We want sector type. Next, and there you can see it: limited, PLC, private or public. Next, and finish. Now it's asking us, the table must be saved before relationships can be created. So this is where it's starting to create our relationships for us. This is where our databases are starting to be pulled together. So we'll click yes to that. It's warning us that if we had a database populated full of data, we could be making a bit of a mistake by doing this. But as we are planned our database properly, we know that there's no data in there. We're only entering dummy data, so we can accept these risks at this time. So we click yes to that. So we go back to the view. I've said the business type is education. Now it's asking the sector type. I've got a drop down box, and I'll pick public. Click enter, and that's our first bit of data done, and that's our first relationship linked. I'll save that, close it down, and we're on to the customer table. Okay, so we're entering data. So what's the business name? We'll call it Comprehensive School. I don't know which one. You can put whatever data you want to in there. What's the business type? Well, immediately we've just entered the business type there. So we don't want to go entering, we don't want to type in, we could make typos, we could put the wrong details in. We know the business type we want, what we want, but we just need to look it up from the business type table. So we'll go back to, we'll change the view, we'll go to business type this time, and we'll click the drop down box, we'll click the lookup wizard, and we know we want to look up the business type table, the first one in this instance. Next, we'll take all the data across, next, and we want business type, next, it's education, next, and finish. And again, it's asking us tables must be saved before relationships can be created. We'll say yes. It can mess up data, we know that, we'll say yes. Okay, we've done that. It's already saved it for us. Go back to the view. So now we click business type and we can click education. Staff contact. Well, we've also got an employee table here. So really speaking, we don't want to be entering staff contact details manually into here. We want to be looking up the employee table. So what we can do there is we'll save this for now. We'll come out of that and we'll go to the employee table. We'll enter some data in. So I'll put myself in. Contract type, I'll give myself a full-time contract, and there we've got some data entered. So we'll save that, we'll go back. We didn't need to particularly put data in there, we could have just linked the table, but it's easier to see the results straight away. We'll go back to the customer table. We've put in the business name, generic school, business type, now staff contact name. We want to change our view, and we want to look up another table. So we do the lookup wizard. Next, we want the employee table. Next, take everything across. It doesn't hurt to see the information. We can always take information out later on. And we'll put surname in and first name. Next, there we are. That's me. I'm the only person in the table at this time. Next, and finish. And again, this is now going to create a relationship. We'll see these relationships all coming together at the end. We'll click yes, and yes, we do know we could mess our data up. Click view. Now when we click contact name, it gives me a choice. I'm the only one in there, so that's all we can have. The next step is job title. Now, job title, we can enter anything in there, but I think this is a good example of where we could use a validation rule. So let's change to our view and job title, and you'll notice we've got down the bottom in this area here, we've got a validation rule. So job title, we can put in sales person or sales manager or manager. Now, what you'll see next is when I hit the enter key, it'll correct the screen. It'll tidy it up. It'll put the coding in, as you can see, salesperson or sales manager or manager. So that means when somebody goes to enter data, they have to put in the validation rule. But we need a validation text, so somebody makes a mistake, they know what they should have typed in. So I'll just type in here, enter, and I'll copy this across. And I can save that. Yeah. Again, changes will flow through the database. I'll accept that can happen. Yeah. Okay. So now I'll go to the view. And when I go job title, if I put in something incorrect, it'll say enter salesperson or sales manager or manager. So I'll put in sales person, and that would be a mistake, but I'll correct that because I saw it happening, and it's letting me do it. Business address, well, where's this business? It's in the city of Llanelli. Postcode SA15 will do, and telephone number, we'll enter that data there. And now we've entered all the necessary data at that time. So that's the customer table. We've just done the employee table. So now the last thing we need to do is the contacts table. So I've clicked save. I'm going to close this down. The last thing we need to do is test our contact records table. This, I guess, is the table that somebody would be using the most. And so let's have a look. We've got sales call date. We've already put that in. So I can click today. Customer. Right. We don't want to go entering a customer again. We need to look at the customer table. So I'll change my view and go to customer. I'll do a lookup table. Lookup wizard. Next. And I want to go to customer. Next. Take everything across. Next. Now pick the fields I want to see. So let's have a look at business name. Will be fine. Next. So there was the business name. Perhaps not the best name to pick for an example, but it'll do. Next and finish. And again, we're going to get the 2 warnings, but we know about that. Thank you very much, database. Microsoft Access looking after us. I'll click back, go back to the view. I've put in the date. Now we can look up our customer table. The call type. Well, perhaps a validation rule would do here, but we'll leave somebody free type if you like. So say it was a sales inquiry. We'll leave them type that in, the users of the database. Package. Well, we've got silver, bronze, gold packages. So this is a classic case of a validation rule. So let's go back. Package type. We got down the bottom here validation rule. So we'll put in bronze or silver or gold. And it'll correct that for us. And then enter. And then I'll just copy this. Save me retyping it all again. I can save this now. Yes. Yes, again. View. Package. So if I type in it incorrectly, let's type in brown. It'll tell me what I've got to type in. So I'll type in, it was a bronze package they inquired about. And there we have it. Bronze package and the validation rule. Employee link now. If again, employee link, we're not going to enter our employees again. We need to refer to the employee table. So we'll click view, employee link, and I'm going to do a lookup wizard. I'm going to do next, employee, next, take it all across, next. Let's have the employee's surname and the employee's first name, next, next, finish. And it's going to make the links and create the tables for us. So we're done. So employee link, click the drop down box, there we have it. And finally, we've already put the date in. So let's just, date of next call, they said this call is in 2 days time. And there we have it, it's all done. So we've built our table. So as you saw, it kept warning us about relationships and links being made. What did that mean? Well, we'll close that down. We'll go to database tools and we click relationships. So database tools, relationships, and let's see all relationships. And now you can see we've got our all the tables we made, 5 of them, with all the links. Doesn't look the best. And as you can see, we've got some tables that have got multiple links to them. So how are we going to deal with this? We don't really want extra data being in, and we don't want duplication. So we need to get rid of one of these links. If we were to get rid of this link, for example, we would be getting rid of staff contact name and ID. So, but what we want to do is probably get rid of this link, and then we'll have one link. If we get rid of this table, we won't have a link between this one and this one. It'll go across that way. So we want to keep staff contact name and ID. We want to keep ID to this. So customer to ID. We need to keep the customer. We have to keep that one. But we've got two staff contact ones. I would suggest that we get rid of this table, because then we've got this table to here, this table to here. So if I get rid of that, and I do permanently want to delete it, now you can see there's one link between all tables, and all tables are linked. That means everything flows nicely, and there's no extra data in. So now we've completed our tables with all of our links. We'll save that. The last thing that I want to remind you all about is if we look at our tables, we need to make sure that we've got everything entered properly. Sector type, we do not need 255 lines there or characters. We only need 25, so we can correct that. Another one I noticed was in contact records. We had call type. We probably need a larger one because they want to type in a lot of freehand data, but probably 150 would be more than enough. So you need to make sure that you make these corrections throughout your work. And once you've done that, you should then be able to be in a good position to make your data dictionary. You should also try wherever possible to put descriptions in. Sometimes it may seem a bit obvious, but it's best to put them in. So you'd write in customer details, date of call. You need to enter these details so that our database is well laid out, well represented, and if anybody comes back to revisit the database, they'll know exactly where they stand, and they know exactly why each table was there. And that concludes this lesson. So as long as you've got your validation rules in, as long as you've put your descriptions in, as long as you've corrected these details, you should be fine. One last thing is worth mentioning is, if you remember, where we put in telephone number, it's in the employee table. We had telephone number. We do need to put text in, because if we put in number, it'll discard any zeros. So text is correct for telephone number, but probably 15 characters is enough for it. And all you need to do now is test the table, all the tables, and add more details in. And I look forward to doing the next lesson, where we'll look at making forms to make this a lot easier to use. Thank you.